Well, hello everybody. Welcome. Here's another vlog, and this is the first vlog of me actually returning back from holiday. I've already I've already edited and uploaded my travel vlogs, if you can call them that. They're not really travel vlogs. I just call them a travel vlog because I'm not at home. I was travelling to a different destination, hence why travel vlog. But yeah. I just wanted to have like a post thoughts since I got home, talk about what we did a bit more in depth, and my final thoughts on the holiday experience. Also, I have a brand new microphone for my computer. I'm using it right now. Hopefully, I've no idea if you can tell any difference, if the sound quality is any better. Yeah, I don't know. But I have been using the Blue Yeti. I will show you it. It is just on my bed here. This big old thing. This has been my trusty microphone for well over 10 years now, I would say. It's a good microphone. It still works, but it's starting to go. It sounds, the sound quality is pretty quiet on it now. I've dropped it a couple times, unfortunately. So I just felt it's about time to just replace it. I'm going to keep this as a backup, just in case that happens to this one. But this has been my trusty go-to for a long time, and it has served me well. It works with all the streaming services. It works with StreamYard, where I do my live streams. This also is more for streaming, because it actually comes with inbuilt drivers, just like this did. It actually comes with some software and everything, which actually kind of like will come in handy for when I do some live streams, so I can get the best possible sound quality. So it does come with some better features. So the new microphone is this one. Now, before I show it properly, some people will probably give me a hard time for buying it. Some people probably might say, you've just wasted your money, don't buy anything from this company. But yet this company arguably is one of the largest, or one of the most well known in the gaming, streaming and gaming hemisphere. I'm not huge into online gaming. This brand is more for that. Obviously, their actual computers and a lot of their stuff that they sell for computers and such are more for gaming setups. But like I say, I'm only interested in a replacement microphone. If it does well, if it works well, I'm happy. But this is the one I got. I don't know if you can just see it. Let me get it in the light there. That's a bit better. It's the Razer Siren V3 Mini. Ultra compact USB microphone. So it's a condenser microphone, just like the Blue Yeti. It's a 14mm condenser mic. It has super cardioid pickup pattern. It's tap to mute sensor with LED indicator. So right at the very top of the microphone, it has obviously the mute. It has a built-in shock absorber to help with noise, dampen noise, and that. It's a plug and play, just like the Blue Yeti was. So just USB it straight in and it works. Advanced customization via Razer Synapse. But yeah, so it's my very first ever Razer product. So hopefully it's going to be good. It seems really well made. The whole microphone is metal. The base, everything, it's all made out of metal. So just like the Blue Yeti, that is fully metal as well. It's very small compared to the Blue Yeti. It's probably about probably about nearly half the size. But obviously when it's now, I've got it on, there's like a little bracket, like a spacer, that you screw into the bottom of the microphone and it goes into the base. So it just gives it a little bit more, just makes it a little bit taller. But even with on the base and with the little space adapter, it is still relatively small compared, and the microphone itself is really quite small. I think I can just show you what it looks like. Probably not. I haven't got much space on the cable, and I don't want to break it, so I might. Nah. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to. Unless I think you can just see what I'm doing. Get hold of it. But that's what it looks like. It's pretty nice. It's a simple design. As long as it does the job, that's all I care about. Let me just readjust you. There we go. There we are. So that's what it looks like. That's the best I can do, unfortunately, on this webcam. I need to see about getting. I need to see about if I can get one of them little like a bracket. Them brackets that are, I've got a bit of movement, so that I can kind of like articulate the camera more. I might see if I can maybe get one of them, and I might see about getting one. I'm thinking about maybe getting one for the microphone itself, but I might have to get an extended cable just to make the cable a bit longer, because the cable that comes in the box, it's long enough for it to go behind this computer cabinet and into the back of the computer, but it doesn't give me much leverage in order to kind of maneuver it around here, where, but it's all good. It is all good. Excuse me. Anyway, but I just wanted to get that out and just let you know I have a new microphone. But yeah, so I mean I'm pretty happy with it so far. I had a little bit of a messing around setting it up earlier. I lost all audio. I don't know what happened there, but it happened when I was basically trying to install the driver software that's already in the microphone. As soon as you USB it in, it comes up with the software and you can install it onto the computer. And I basically I plugged the USB into the back of the computer, and then it was working fine to begin with because I was using the front USBs on the front of the computer at first to set it all up. And then I go to put it into the back of the computer, and then all of a sudden I lose complete audio. So trying to get audio back. It's working now, but I think what happened is there was maybe a bit of a conflict with a driver or something. So all the drivers have been updated on the computer, system updates and drivers, everything's been updated, everything seems to be working all right now. So yeah, but anyway, so the holiday, that's the main point of me doing this. So the holiday was a good time. Me and my good friend Smithy, we both had a good time. We went to Benalmadena, as we pronounce it, but apparently the locals pronounce it Benamadna, something like that. And it's our first time ever going to that side, on the Costa del Sol side of Spain. And yeah, it was a lovely place. It was, as you would have seen in my special travel vlogs, if you have seen both parts. It's very scenic, beautiful waters, beautiful architecture. Some of the buildings are proper traditional Spanish buildings. Where we was, there was a hell of a lot of high rises, of course, all the different hotels and stuff, and apartment blocks and stuff. So it's all very, them places, they're like that, there's just nothing but hotels and private residences, which are high rises as well. But other than that, because we went to a couple places away from where we was actually staying. We went to a place called Torremolinos, which was on the other side of the marina from where we was. We actually walked it. The day we flew in, the whole idea was we were just going to have a little walk around the local area, get acquainted with the area, and chill out when we first flew in. That plan went out the window straight away. We ended up discovering there was a shitload of Irish bars, and I mean a shitload. Literally, there was like 6 in about 5-minute walk of each other. Probably even more the further you walk away. We just kept seeing nothing but Irish bar, Irish bar, Irish bar. Of course, there was other bars other than Irish, of course, but there was a lot of Irish bars compared to the other parts of Spain we've been to before. There was also a Scottish bar, there was a Welsh bar, there was an English bar, English rum bars as well, and then a lot of regular Spanish-owned, Italian-owned restaurants and bars, and so on and so forth. Of course, Spanish as well. But no, it was a beautiful place. But like I said, we went to Torremolinos, which was on the other side of the marina, along the front end. So we went on the Friday when we first flew in. The whole idea was, like I said, just to chill out, because I was at work the Thursday. Yes, I was at work the Thursday, and the day before we flew out, I didn't get home until about 7:30 in the evening, and our flight on the Friday morning was early hours. Well, not early hours, but it was very early morning. It was a 7 a.m. fly. The flight was to depart. From Malaga Airport. It was, so we were, the airport was Leeds Bradford that we went to get the plane, and so basically we get to Leeds Bradford. The flight was for 7 a.m. departure, about 7ish departure. So we had to leave relatively pretty early hours in the morning. I think we left mine at about 1:30 in the morning. So bearing in mind, I'd literally only just got home. I'd finished work, never went to bed. I didn't see the point of even getting any sleep, because by the time I got home, got something to eat, and actually started to get stuff packed, by the time I'd finished getting everything packed, I had literally only about 2 hours left until Smithy turned up at my door to pick me up. So there was literally no point in me going to sleep. So by the time me finishing work, getting home, getting something to eat, and getting everything, some final checks, making sure everything is my passport and everything I needed, all the really important stuff was all there and checked off and ready, and all packed, both bags packed. Stuff that I needed to charge was on charge, and so I did all that. And by the time I'd finished everything, put my clothes and everything I needed into the bag, pack it and all. I finished packing at something like 11:30, something like 11, 11:30 in the evening, after getting home. So that left me literally with about an hour and a half, 2 hours, give or take, until Smithy arrived. So basically, we went to the Leeds Bradford. We had Smithy knows a guy who's a taxi driver, and he offered to take us up and bring us home. And so that was all pre-approved before going. So yeah, so Smithy got, well, the guy in the taxi picked up Smithy first, and then come for me, and he got to mine between 1:15 to 1:30 in the morning on that Friday morning. And so we got to Leeds Bradford relatively pretty fine. There was no real problem. But the only issue was we had quite a long wait until the gates and everything opened for us to go through to the plane. So we was endlessly for a good 3 or 4 hours looking through duty free and trying to get something to eat, looking through the shops, and just endlessly back and forth. For ages. It just felt like an age until we finally got on that plane, and then we finally got to Malaga Airport. Got through there relatively okay through passport control and stuff. And yeah, so we literally, between me and Smithy, had no sleep at all between us, and we got there. I was okay energy-wise when we first landed. I actually thought I would probably flake out, to be honest, but I seemed to perk up a little bit. And we basically ended up going for a night out. We actually didn't get back to our hotel until about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning on the Saturday morning now. Yeah. So we went for a long walk to Torremolinos on the Friday when we first went in. We went for a long walk. We didn't even realise we was in Torremolinos at first until we started seeing street signs that were saying a different place. And we're like, oh crap, we're in Torremolinos. So we practically almost walked back to the airport, because that's where the Malaga Airport is located. It's just outside of Torremolinos area. I give it or take a couple miles or so. So we practically almost walked back to the airport. It was a bloody long walk as well. So we literally walked from one end, from where we were, all the way to the other side to a completely different part on the other side. Walked back again, and then we decided, me and Smithy thought, why don't we go for a pint, have a couple pints now that we're here and everything. So we went to a Irish bar. I think it was supposedly meant to be an Irish bar, but yet it gave me Scottish vibes for some reason, even though it was an Irish bar. But strange combination, I know. But yeah, so we ended up going into this bar. Went to this bar, had a couple pints, went for another further walk around, found another bar, and we ended up getting acquainted with the owners of that another Irish bar. We ended up becoming, talking with them. There was two guys that owned it, a guy called Tomo and a guy called John. And they both work there. They're both residents. They actually live in Spain, in Benalmádena area. And they've been there for something. I think Tomo said he was there for over 20 odd years. He's been living there, and so he works and kind of like part owns that bar, I think. And John's the other guy who works there, a big Irish guy. And but yeah, we ended up kind of like befriending them and got on with them real well. We went there a couple of times over the time of us being there, and yeah, and we ended up on the Friday evening. Ended up going out. We got invited out by Tomo, the guy who owns this bar, and another guy that's a friend of theirs. That is again another resident. He actually lives there, but he's actually I think he was English or something. I can't remember now. But he came with us as well. So me, Smithy, this other guy that Tomo and John knew, and Tomo, all four of us, we went down to something. I can't remember. It was like a little square area with all these little bars. You go down like a hill. You go down this big hill, and there's like a little courtyard with loads of different bars. And it was a real nice little area. And they introduced us to the owner of this other bar, this woman, and a barmaid that works there who Tomo knew, of course. And so we ended up kind of having a good laugh and ended up kind of like getting a bit drunk. And yeah, so that was our first day and evening. And we didn't get back to the hotel until going like 4 a.m. this Saturday morning. And so again, we had no sleep up to that point, people. So we were literally almost approaching 2 days. We were approaching nearly about good 48 something hours nearly, maybe a little bit over at that point, without any sleep. So we completely flaked out when we got back. Had a vape and a smoke when we first got back to the hotel. Got something to eat, and and then we completely flaked out, and we didn't get up until something like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We slept through breakfast, we slept through lunch, and we ended up making. I think we ended up going to the dinner. I think I don't know. I think we actually missed everything, to be honest, that first day. That Saturday afternoon. So yeah, we needed some sleep. So we both definitely got some sleep. We ended up completely missing out on all the meals that the hotel provided that day. But yeah, we ended up still doing something. I think we went for a little walk around. Again. Not as far that time, but we ended up kind of. I think Smithy wanted to go and get some more cigs, so we went to a tobacconist, and then we just kind of like had a look around a lot of the other side of the marina, because there's 2 sides of it. So we went for a walk down there a little bit along the beach. So we kind of took it a bit more chilled that afternoon. Sunday, again, we didn't really do anything because we discovered a lot of stuff was shut. Not as much stuff was open, so we thought, well, we might as well just have a chilled one back at the hotel. We had a couple of drinks in the hotel bar and just chilled out, really. And then from the Monday onwards was when we started doing actual proper stuff. We started actually going out for the day and actually doing excursions. We went on like 3 different boat trips. We went on, one of them was a ferry. I can't remember the area we went to, but basically in order to get there you had to take a ferry. So we got on this ferry. I can't remember which day this was. I don't know if it was the Monday or the Tuesday. I can't remember now, but anyway, so we went on this ferry. Ended up making friends with some other people, some Scottish guys that were on the ferry as well, on holiday as well, of course, and they were visiting. Basically, it was boyfriend, girlfriend, and a cousin of theirs, I think it was his cousin, and then their granddad. So them 4, and they were just sat there playing cards, drinking wine, and just having a good old time. And they noticed me and Smithy. We didn't even know there was. We weren't even speaking to them at that point, and they're just kind of like having a bit of a laugh between us at some points, because it was quite choppy, and every time I would stand up to go and get a drink or something, I would almost kind of fall over and started to make people laugh. So But that kind of broke the ice a little bit, and so we joined them, played some cards, and then once we got to the destination where the ferry was going, we joined them again for more drinks. We never even saw any of that area we was actually going to, and we played another couple more games of cards, had a really good laugh, got on with them really, really well. They were all fantastic. They were a real good laugh, and so that was that day. And then we had a couple of the boat trips. They were the same boat trip, but a different boat. I know this doesn't sound quite. No, that probably doesn't sound right, but they all take the same course in the water. It's like a designated spot zone that they all take. We didn't know this at the time. The first one we went on was, we actually did it as a private boat. We actually paid a little bit extra to have the boat just for me and Smithy. The funny thing is with that, this is actually in one of the travel vlogs, by the way. I actually show what happened. And basically, we went to this steakhouse called Angus, which was just across the road from our hotel. It was beautiful, by the way, absolutely great. But yeah, so we went across the road from our hotel, and there was this steakhouse. We went there, and we literally just 5 minutes of us finishing our food and paying our bill and going, Smithy said, "Oh, look at these boat trips." And this guy who works on the boat, or works for the person who runs the boat, I don't know, there was this big like poster there, and it was a catamaran. It wasn't catamaran, it was actual boat, this one. And he was basically saying, "You're interested? We are leaving in about so." And Smithy ended up talking to him. And the next minute, he's like, "Come on, John, we've got a boat trip." We're like, "What? What's going on?" You know, I was like, "What's going on?" So I got to get on this boat, and he says, "Well, I think I may have literally just taught the guy into just me and you on a boat trip. It's nobody else is getting on this boat. It's just me and you." I was like, "How does this happen? We go out for something to eat, and then for some weird reason, we now are on a boat going somewhere we don't know where we're going, how long we're going to be on the boat for." None of that information was even discussed. It was a proper impulse thing, but we did it. It was fun. It was nice. Got some nice shots. Got some nice photos. It was good there. But yeah, where they go is on this course is that they basically take you to where it's like dolphin spotting, and it's like a certain area where you could sometimes see wild dolphins actually coming up. So they kind of use that. So they go to those areas, but obviously they don't always appear, of course. So, but we did that one, and then we did another one, but it was with a group of people. It wasn't a private one. It was like a group of us, other people on the boat, and that was actually a catamaran one. So we did one that was on a catamaran, and one that was on a normal boat, and then we did the ferry as well. So we did 3 boat trips. We also took, for the first time, went on a Spanish train. We got the train home one day. Being in a Spanish taxi for the first time. Being on a Spanish bus for the first time. So the very first time using Spanish public transportation. We usually just walk everything. Me and Smithy just walk and walk and walk. We actually walk more on holiday than we do ever at home, it seems. But we walked miles. I don't know how many miles. Smithy kind of like had the rough data on his phone of how many steps we've done per day. But we walked fucking miles, absolutely miles. Some places were like 40 minutes duration from our hotel by foot. Some places were like 10-20 minutes. Some places, so you can add it up. There was a lot of walking, and a lot of it wasn't very easy walking as well, because Benalmádena area is pretty hilly, and I'm not just saying a little hill, it's practically like this. And I'm not even exaggerating. Some of those hills are absolutely killers. Going down them's no problem. It's just going up them that's the problem. But no, so it was a good holiday. We had some good times. We went to Sea Life. There was a Sea Life aquarium there, just across the road again from our hotel. We went there once. A bit overpriced. It was like €20. Some people might, oh, it's not too bad. I mean, obviously in pounds it would be a little bit cheaper than it's not, but it's still quite a lot. But it's very small. There's like one massive big tank with loads of different things in it, and then there's like smaller little tanks with other things in it. But it was kind of like a very small condensed Sea Life centre, because I've been to a Sea Life before that's just down the coast from me, and it's huge. It's freaking massive. But like I said, this was a much smaller condensed one. But we did that. That was actually not too bad. There was some otters in there. I absolutely love otters. There was some otters. There was sharks. Two different versions of two different types of shark. There was a massive big tortoise, water tortoise or whatever it was, big frigging things. That basically the one like the one that's in Finding Nemo, that real awesome dude. I've forgotten the character's name, but what I'm on about. Dude, how that guy from Finding Nemo. Basically that thing. It was like a couple of those in there. I saw some piranhas. Yeah, piranhas. Wow. Yeah, and we went to another thing as well called Selwa Marina, and now that was a day out. That was fantastic. That was absolutely brilliant. We actually got suggested it by someone that we met up with. That it's a good day out, and we thought we'll find it and see where it goes. Or what it's like, should I say? And it was good. It was a bloody good day. We had a good 2 or 3 hours in there. It was bloody good. And it wasn't too badly priced either. It wasn't too badly priced at all. Can't remember exactly how much we paid, but it wasn't bad at all. But there was loads in there. There was dolphins. They had a dolphin demonstration, dolphin show, like trained dolphins, of course. They had dolphins there. They had penguins in there. They had snakes. They had crocodiles, like baby crocodiles. Well, they're not fully grown quite, but they had crocodiles. They had flamingos. They had a walrus. They had a sea lion. Sorry, no, sea lion, not a walrus. Sea lion. What else did they have in there? Piranhas again. They had bloody shitloads of stuff in there. It was brilliant. What else did we do? Oh yeah, we went to a Birds of Prey display on top of the mountain. And we had to take a cable car. One of them ski lift cars. When you go skiing on the Alps and they have them chairlift. Well, they're like a chairlift, but it's a similar principle. You basically just kind of sit on this chair and it goes up. But these were like full-on modules, like a lift, a sky lift basically, and it kind of is like a similar principle idea. So we went on the cable. I think they call it a cable car. So we went on that, and it went right up into the mountain, this big ass fucking mountain. And so we went up this mountain, and at the top there was nothing there. It was just barren land. It was completely wild, barren. And all that was actually there, and this is actually in my travel vlog, all that was actually there was a little cafe, a kiosk so you can get some refreshments. There was like a little cafe restaurant thing so you can get something to eat, and nothing else. That was it. And then we'd take a little walk along, and we found there was a Birds of Prey, like a bird sanctuary, just along the dirt track. And we're like, oh, And that was only €6. That's not bad at all, really. €6 each, which isn't bad. And there was a birds of prey demonstration. They showed off about 3 different birds. One was an owl. No, 2 owls. There was a barn owl. There was what I call a snowy owl, like from Harry Potter. And then there was a bald eagle. Oh yeah, no, there was another bird as well. No, they showed off 5 different birds. They showed off this real small little bird. It was real cute. I can't remember what it was called. And then the bald eagle was awesome. I love my eagles. I love bald eagles. I love any of those big ass birds. They're freaking awesome. I love those type of birds. But no, that was really cool. Yeah, and I love owls as well. I love owls. What else did we do? Oh yeah, we went to a place called Mias, which is spelled Mijas. The locals call it Mias, but it's actually Mijas. In English, you pronounce it as Mijas, but in Spanish it's Mias. And it was this real historic little town. It wasn't. It's not a city, of course. It's just like a little town and like a real small population. And it was like a little shopping district. Beautiful countryside, beautiful scenery, and very, very traditionally old Spanish buildings. And I love my architecture, so I took a lot of pictures that day. There was original bull ring there from the days when they did the whole, the bullfighting and stuff, which I don't agree with, but it was still there. You could have a tour around it if you wished. There was a lovely, nice chapel basically, really nice. There was actually a festival of some description happening as well when we got there. I don't know what it was about, but there was loads of people having food and like a barbecue on, and loads of big tables and loads of people, Spanish people, mostly all Spanish really, and they're all just, jovial and happy and laughing and joking with each other. But no, we had a little look around there, and I bought myself a leather jacket from there, even though I don't think it's actually is leather. But I don't care. I would like to get a proper authentic leather jacket sometime, an actual proper leather jacket. I think it's not. I don't think it is the one that I got. I think it's actually artificial leather, even though there's a label in it saying 100% leather, but I don't think it is. Why I say that is the material is actually pretty light. For a proper leather jacket is pretty heavy, and it's quite stiff. So when you try to move, it's much more stiffer on your shoulders and your arms. It's a much more of a stronger material. So like a proper authentic leather jacket, I mean. But this, it is heavy, but not real heavy. It's kind of in between. You can see it's just like a thin amount of material rather than a nice thick material. So I don't think it is proper leather, but I'm not. I don't care. I like it. End of the day, if I like it, that's all that matters. I also got myself a nice watch as well. Got myself a Casio. I don't know if you can see it, but it's one of those, what they call a calculator watch, digital watch. I've always wanted one, so I got one. I got myself a t-shirt from the gift shop at the Selwo Marina. Got that as well. I got myself a couple key rings. Got one for my car key. Obviously, Vauxhall are called Opel in Europe. I never really understood why, but they are. So I was obviously looking for a Vauxhall badge, but of course there isn't a Vauxhall. It's called an Opel. Well, even though it is the same car, but for some reason in Europe and certain countries it's called something different, called an Opel. So anyway, so I got a key ring with the opal design on it. So I've got that, and I got me and Smithy. I got me and Smithy a on the ferry. There was like this guy taking official photos, and if you wished, you could pay for the photo or get a key ring. So I said, oh, I'll have two of the key ring with the picture that you took. So I got that. We've got one of them each. What else? But yeah, but no, the holiday was great. It was a good experience. It felt much more of a safer place as well. Me and Smithy both said, because we've felt a little uneasy in other parts that we've been in Spain. We went to, obviously the first place we went to in Spain was Benidorm. Now Benidorm is practically, as the English describe it as, it's Blackpool but with sun. And it is not the safest of places. It is not the safest of places. You get it's easy to get muggings are pretty common, pickpocketing and stuff like that. Yeah, it's not a very good place, is Benidorm. It's got a reputation for that. Even though it's still a good holiday, you can still have a lot of fun. There's a lot to do, but it's just you've got to have more wits about you when you're out having a night out or whatever. And then Salou, which we went to last year, that was it was better than Benidorm. It didn't seem as bad, but at the same time there was still a risk. There were still issues that we had to come across in Salou. I'm not going to say much more about that, but it didn't involve me per se, but yeah, I'm just going to say, and that's all I'm going to say on that matter. But Benalmádena or Benalmádena, however you want to pronounce it, it was a good time. We felt much more at ease. We didn't feel we was at risk of being pickpocketed or mugged or assaulted or anything of that nature, which was good. And that's not really how you want to feel anyway when you're on holiday, I guess. But we felt okay. The only annoying thing was you get pestered by people. I forgot what they call them. I think the locals call them lucky men. Lucky men, as in lucky men. Or look, and I don't know if it's lucky or looky. I don't know. As in lucky. Have a look. See lucky. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, but that's the term they go with. And basically, these guys, mostly black guys. I don't mean any disrespect when I say that, but they mostly are, and also women as well. And basically, they're these people that just walk around and they come up to you in a bar, and they come up to you on the street, and they come up to you anywhere that they possibly can, even on the beach, and they just pester you and saying, would you like sunglasses? Would you like a watch? Would you like this? Would you like that? And of course you just say no, and they just walk away. There's no, oh, would you like this? No, once you say no, they get the message and they just walk away. But it's just, you get that constantly every single day that you're out, and it gets pissing annoying after a while. And also, what else was really annoying? Basically, I understand they're trying to drum up business, but you've got people that are working in the restaurants and stuff like, would you like a drink? Would you like this? Would you like that? And you get that a lot as well. And you're like, no, bugger off. Even though I haven't said that, but you think it at the time. That gets a bit annoying. Also, our hotel, I will be honest, was boring as fuck. It was much more for the older people. It wasn't really meant for people like me and Smithy's age or younger. It wasn't even though it was called a player even though it was called a player experience hotel, that's the the subtitle for the hotel chain. There was no experience there really. The only thing that I could say was a highlight that the hotel had, they had what do they call them? bloody hell. Hot tub. Yeah, they had a hot tub. They had a indoor and outdoor swimming pool, but the indoor one was absolutely shite. It was like not even a pool. When it was, but you know what I mean, you couldn't really do much in it. But the outdoor one was relatively quite nice and quite big. There was no games room. There was no entertainment room or anything in the hotel. All it was just all it had was a big lounge with a pull down TV. So they sometimes might play the odd football match or whatever on in there, and it's just like a chill out area, with proper nice comfy chairs and stuff. An outside bar terrace area, with a bar, and you can have something to eat out there, and that's basically all the hotel really had. And they had a little play area for little kiddies, little one. It wasn't that much. There wasn't really anything to really cry home about, but there was that. But it was a boring hotel. And I understand. Obviously, it's not really meant for our type of clientele. It's not really meant for the youngsters that are there for a little bit more fun or want something to do rather than just sat on their ass all day. At the end of the day, what you do on holiday is up to you, of course. The whole point of going on holiday is to relax and to recuperate, which we did, of course. But we like to go out. We like to experience stuff. We like to go on excursions. We like to walk about. We like to experience the culture of the country we're in. That's how me and Smithy are. So we were out a lot. We barely really was in the hotel at all. The only time I was in the hotel was when we got home on a night, got our heads down, and the odd time when we went for food in the hotel, for lunch or for tea or for breakfast, and on an evening having a couple of drinks in the bar, and that's literally the only times we was in the hotel. And for the majority of the time we were outside, we were out eating out or doing a day out somewhere, making the most of the holiday as possible, most as possible, really. But yeah, the hotel, I would say as well, the hotel staff, some of them were good, some of them were great. There was a couple of couple women, Spanish girls, that were on the doing the entertainment side of things. They were chatty. They seemed quite nice to talk to. However, I felt, I don't know, just something about some of them. They just kind of, and before going to Spain, I know a lot of the Spanish are not very happy with British tourists, because I've heard that the Spanish are not happy with what the British have done to a lot of the areas. And also they're not happy about Airbnb because it's taking housing away from those that are struggling to find housing in Spain itself, the actual people that live there, of course. So basically there's a lot of people in Spain that are angry at the tourism side of things, and some of them are angry at the English because of how I can understand it to a degree, because even though me and Smithy are not that type of tourist, yes, we're British, we're English, but we don't when we go on holiday, we're not disrespectful. We treat everyone we come up to, anyone that talks to us, we treat them with respect. We talk to them with respect, of course. We are not too loud and boisterous and annoying, even though unfortunately, you can't help that. People just get annoyed over the most smallest of things these days. But for the most part, we are the type of traveller or holiday goer that just simply wants to experience their culture and do things and go places and just invest ourselves in where we are. And that's the type of holiday goer we are. But unfortunately, us English have got a bit of a bad reputation for travelling and getting into fights and being disrespectful and making a mess of places and a mess of hotel rooms. So, I've heard some stories about what goes on sometimes when the English go on holiday. I know it's not just us. It probably happens for most travellers, but I know for most holiday goers, should I say, it happens a lot. But yeah, it's one of them, innit? It's one of them. There's always rotten apples that give a bad name for everybody, and it causes people to tie everyone with the same brush or whatever. It's just annoying. Yeah, there was at times where we did get some mucky looks and some sniggering stuff between people, mostly the Spanish, of course. But saying that, we never had any issues with anybody else that were not Spanish. We spoke to a lot of people over that holiday that were completely different nationalities, even though some of them lived there, live and work in Spain, and some were, of course, on holiday just like we were. Me and Smithy spoke to a guy from Denmark. We spoke to a couple of people that were Dutch. That were Dutch. We spoke to someone from Finland. We spoke to someone from Sweden and Norway. So yeah, we got on with all of those really well. We got on with those perfectly. I had a really good discussion with the guy from where did he come from? Was he the guy from Finland? I think it might have been. Yeah, there was a guy. There was a boyfriend and girlfriend, of course, on holiday together, and they had their. I think their kid was up in their hotel room. So the three of them on holiday, but obviously we never saw the kid because I think the kid suffered from ADHD or something, so he didn't like a lot of noise, so they kind of left him in the hotel room to chill out for a bit and cool down. So they just came down for a couple hours in the hotel bar and just had a couple drinks, and we ended up getting talking to them, and they were really nice, really lovely. The boyfriend looked like a Viking. He had a big massive beard. He was a big guy, and he was a lovely guy as well. And he does Viking reenactments. I had this really fascinating conversation with him, talking about history, like ancient history, talking about Romans. I was talking to him about the history of where I'm from and certain things in England, like what the Romans, when the Romans came to England, and we've still got our original the Roman roads and pathways and all that kind of stuff, and we've still got all that, and we've got this and we've got that, and also told him about Hull actually caused a civil war when one of the kings was denied access to go through. I think through the gates. There's ruins in the city centre, in Hull city centre, and they're basically the foundation area for these big massive gates. And basically Hull, back in the day, long time ago, we were basically closed in by a massive big brick wall. So like most places, it was basically something like out of an anime or Game of Thrones. And it was basically just these big massive castle walls that basically just ran along the whole diameter, whatever, of the whole space of where Hull used to be. Hull used to be, should I say, or Hull area. And so basically there was these big ass gates. You got Whiteford Gate, you got this gate. So that's why we have certain areas in Hull called something gate. This gate, this gate. So it's basically a reference to where these gates were located, basically. So the ruins of this gate, which is on Whiteford Gate in Hull, just outside the Princess Quay shopping centre, and we actually caused a civil war. And when I said that to this guy, his face just lit up, and he was like, "No." I went, "Yeah, we kind of started the War of the Roses." I think it was that skirmish, or it was part of it. I don't know, but yeah, it said that we actually caused a civil war. And I said, "Have you ever heard of the War of the Roses, the white rose and the red rose?" And so on and so forth. And he was absolutely fascinated with stuff from England, and he's actually really looking forward to come to England actually at some point and check all this out himself. But yeah, we had a fascinating conversation talking about ancient Egypt, talking about Roman, talking about all sorts, and he was showing me pictures of stuff he's built himself. He's made his own axes and swords and knives, furniture, like Viking furniture, like proper, that type of thing. And it was just a fascinating conversation. Like, me and him had this really good fascination. We both have a very similar sense of history and that kind of thing, and that was an awesome conversation. I've never been able to speak to somebody as openly about my taste and my thoughts of history like that. And it was just such a good conversation we had, and it was just so good. And his girlfriend was really lovely as well. Yeah. But yeah, so we had some really great conversations with other people. It's just unfortunately because of the mindset of how Spain see the tourism situation at the moment, unfortunately kind of overshadowed it a little bit. But what can you do? What can you do? Without tourism, a lot of countries every country would struggle if there was no tourism. But I understand over-tourism is a problem, of course, and there are issues that come from tourism. You get some idiots that mess it up for others. But for the most part, not everybody is going on holiday to cause a problem. But what can you do? But anyway, so that is pretty much all I can really talk about. This has actually gone on for longer than I thought. I didn't really think it was going to be as long as this. I think I might do a little bit of editing to this before I upload it. But it was a great holiday. Yes, the hotel we were staying at, we stayed at the Hotel Parasol, it was called. Parasol. Or Parmasol or something. Parmasol, that's it. Parmasol. So it has nothing to do with it has a little bit to do with the building thing, but like I showed in my travel vlog, there was building going on outside, and we had full view of that from our balcony, from our room, and we got a lot of noise issues from it. Now, the reason that is not the complete reason why we would never go back to the hotel again, because obviously once those hotels are both built, it'll be fine. But it was just a boring hotel. There was nothing to do at the hotel itself. The entertainment was very boring. All they had bingo, they had a karaoke night, they had these tap dancers that came in, doing flamenco dancing and stuff, and that was pretty much it. The entertainment, of course, when we went, we're kind of like coming out of the peak season, so that was that. But it's just the entertainment wasn't the best. The selection for the alcohol was a bit shit. Yeah, there was just nothing to do in the hotel itself except for maybe go for a swim. That's it. So if you're somebody that doesn't like water or can't swim, you're kind of screwed unless you go out. But no, I probably would. I probably would go to I probably would go to Benalmadena again, or Benabadna again. You know, I probably would go again, but I'd probably see about a different hotel. Something that has a little bit more, you know, more going on. So, like, if we wanted to have a day in the hotel, we've still got something to do to pass the time, you know. So yeah, probably I would go again to Benalmadena, but it would be a different hotel. But yeah, it was a good holiday. All in all, I had a good time. Had some great laughs, some good conversations with people that we met along the way. And but yeah, but that's the vlog. That's the vlog discussion today. So thank you very much. I hope you heard me okay. I hope the audio wasn't too bad. I might have to do some tinkering with it because I can actually do some changing to make the sound a bit better if I need to. So I will be getting fully acquainted with this microphone over due course. But I hope you heard me clear enough. I hope the sound quality wasn't too bad for you. But yes, take care of yourselves. Thank you very much for watching. More videos and vlogs and stuff. My regular routine vlogs and stuff will be starting soon. Also, I want to try and get maybe a review or a couple of reviews done, or you know, start my reviews again as well, my main channel. So yeah, thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves, and yeah, there we go. Bye bye.